Department of Labor portal, the flag system, the Foreign Labor Application Gateway, is opened as of Friday. Brian was messing around late, and he sent me a team message that says, "Hey, the flag opened," and it was trick or treating, and I thought he was playing a trick on me.
Yep.
Didn't believe him, but went online, checked it, and it's open. But we got
Yeah.
to talk about what that means, what to expect, and what we do not know for sure yet. I'm Sam Shihab with the law firm of Shihab Burke, and with me,
Brian Burke from that very same place this Monday, 6 p.m. here in fabulous old Ohio.
cold Columbus, Ohio. As a matter of fact, the weather was decent today.
Yeah.
No
I
complaints.
was out doing some exercise this morning for sure.
Good
Yeah.
for you. I was
Yeah.
not. All right. So there are things we know, and there's things we do not know yet. So what is the Foreign Labor Application Gateway portal or the FLAG system? It is a system designed for filing the labor condition application one application at a time.
Yeah.
The portal is operated by the U.S. Department of Labor, Office of Foreign Labor Certification, called the OFLC,
Hmm.
the Office of Labor Certification. And it's open, and they're saying that, hey, LCAs that are pending, you may be getting them coming in. And I think we got one on Friday that came in,
Let me
I
let me
believe.
check. Let me double check my emails
Um,
here.
and
Um,
why did the system close? The system closed because of the government shutdown.
mhm.
And due to lapse in funds,
Yeah.
the government said we do not have money to pay employees to continue to operate the system. They brought it down and brought a complete halt to the H-1B
Yeah.
and the E3 visa processing and the ETA
Yeah.
labor certification
Yeah.
process as
What
well.
goes in there? It goes, LCAs for H-1Bs and E3s. That's in H-1B ones as well, I suppose. Prevailing wages for H-1Bs and perms filed through there. And the perm form itself, the ET 9089, is another important one that goes in there for sure. Yeah.
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 Everybody's excited,
Yep.
and we've sent a note to our clients informing them of the change that
Yep.
we have noticed. There was some kind of an announcement by the U.S. Department of Labor that's not clear what is the intent,
Yeah.
and we're trying to figure this thing out. So, of course, Monday morning cases are coming through. Everybody wants to amend
Yeah.
their H-1Bs. People are transferring. People are in the grace period, high-fiving because they can get an LCA out, maybe. We'll talk about that in a second,
Yeah.
and get cases going. And obviously, clients with green card application. Why is that related? Very critical because, as you may know, the green card application, there is a window to file these applications.
Sure.
We do 6 months worth of recruitment and advertising, or fancy word is recruitment, for these cases to confirm whether or not there's qualified U.S. worker available. And if there is not one available, then we file the case. And that window, if it happened to occur within the shutdown, all the work has been lost.
Mhm.
So everybody's excited. They want us to file cases, and we're just
Yeah.
trying to respond to people's demands and excited about this. Now, upon closer look into what's going on and seeing what's out there,
Yeah.
where are the concerns, Brian?
Well, it's, are they going to be actually processing these cases? So, having, and are my LCAs going to come back timely? Are my prevailing wages going to come back? And are they going to continue processing perms? Perms are longer term; they're already filed. But one of the things is we have LCAs that we filed before this shutdown occurred, and we have not gotten a single H1 LCA back. Not Friday, not over the weekend. Sometimes they come in, and not today, not yet. So there's a question as to whether or not they're actually going to actually resume processing of those H-1B LCAs. That's that.
And there's conflicting information.
Yeah, yeah,
So some media are reporting that the system will continue. The Department of Labor did not come out and confirm anything
yeah. I'm looking at
about
their
certification.
press release. It just basically says we're intending to resume operations of processing applications, but which ones and when are are
and
vague.
how
Yeah,
long it takes, because you're required to process these within 7 business days,
yeah,
but there's no business days that can count when there's no business happening with
yeah,
the government.
yeah,
So if there's no business, there are no business days, and there's no business days, there's no legal requirement. So
yeah,
do not expect those to come in within the 7 days that we're expecting.
yeah.
We will probably expect that these will come in a little bit longer than that, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Now, what does that mean? Why all of a sudden? I mean, must there must be responding to pressure. I mean,
Well,
people are saying, "What is going on here? We need to file these cases."
Well, amongst the things that get filed through the flag portal that we didn't mention are labor condition applications for the H-2A and H-2B visa programs, which are temporary, like seasonal workers and agricultural workers. And I would note the Department of Labor's press release explicitly says, uh, in addition, the OFLC seasonal jobs .do.gov system, which is an online registry for H2A and H2B, has also been restored. And one of the sort of news rumors going around was that this was mostly done to appease people who use those programs to get those back online and
Why
functional.
appease these, not appease the H-1B folks?
Well,
If the H-1B folks are not being loved because they have $100,000 fee attached to them, they are now bad. The
bad, bad.
unloved stepson.
I was going to approach with a similar metaphor, Sam. The H-1B visa program has been told to stand in the corner until it's thought about what it's done,
It's on a
and
timeout.
yeah, it's on a timeout essentially. But so the bottom line is, here's why I'm maybe not quite bottom line yet, but here's the reason why I'm happy. I can send out a posting notice for an H-1B LCA, and I can file those LCAs now knowing that I've met the posting requirement. I filed the LCA timely. After that, there's a requirement that your LCA must be posted within, the LCA must be filed within 30 days of the posting being made. I can do that now. I can send out a posting notice, get an LCA filed timely. Prevailing wages. Um, Even though I'm not sure whether those are going to be processed, the impression I get from those is that they require a lot of time and thought from the Department of Labor to work on based upon their processing times. They're not going to move, but at least I can get them in line. For a lot of people, there is peace of mind knowing that as soon as the government comes back, they're going to start processing my case. But I think most importantly is the Department of Labor, the labor certification, the ET-99, the PERM applications. For those who aren't aware, PERM applications are filed traditionally electronically.
Do you have that question on the screen purposely?
Which question on the screen?
So
Oh,
there is a,
oh,
yeah.
please.
You're getting, yeah, you're ahead of
Sorry,
yourself.
sorry. I must have accidentally slip of the
Yeah.
mouse there.
So
But
the thing that everybody's saying, that in careful reading of the Department of Labor announcement,
yeah,
there is no language about that the system has fully resumed to the
yeah,
pre-shutdown level.
yeah,
So there's no really a statement that the LCA processing is fully
yeah.
operational. Maybe it's taking it. Do they have bodies on
To
the
actually
other end
press
to
them.
look at it to say certify, certify, certify? I doubt that it was a human, to be honest with you, that was processing it,
Yeah.
because it was coming in precisely on the
Oh,
seventh.
the LCAs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
on the seventh day. I'm sure there may be some kind of a bot that was basically checking the boxes checked correctly, and that's it. There was
I would
really no.
I would agree with that because
We've never had a single one come back with any question,
yeah,
unless you forgot to mark a box, in which case it'll be rejected because you
yeah.
forgot to
But I
mark a
mean,
box.
touch wood. That's not something you see like once a year or something like that.
Yeah,
Let
yeah, you
alone,
don't
yeah,
see. Yeah, but there
yeah.
was no. That title does
They
not match
don't.
the job. Nah,
Yeah.
but
So
that
I guess
address missing, the zip code doesn't match. You don't put
headline
in any.
is they don't vet LCAs that hard.
No.
You put in the information, you make your promises, we send them back to you within 7 days. It all comes back. If for those who aren't aware, we get I think it's like maybe like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. We just get a big old pile of LCA certification emails every day essentially. Yeah,
Not that I would encourage you to do this, but if you put in a Washington D.C. zip code to a California address, I don't think it will tell you that you're wrong.
yeah.
It's your problem.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
your problem. It's not their problem.
Yeah.
You have an LCA that's bad.
Well, yeah.
Um,
So LCAs agreed. They are probably most likely automated. There's a chance those things might come back, but again, it has to be somebody with their finger on that metaphorical bot, as it were. And I want to, I'll be thrilled if the LCAs start coming back, but I'm not counting on it too hard. Prevailing wages, I don't expect them to move in substance because they
no.
seem to require work. They require months to process. It means somebody's doing something there. The thing that's most important about the perms, though, is perms are filed electronically. It's possible to file them on paper in the event of a government shutdown. And to quote our esteemed partner Cheryl Brico, that's awful. Essentially, if you are forced to file a perm case on paper, expected to be
A black
slower,
hole.
expected to be audited, and get no confirmation, get no email to confirm confirmation filing or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we planned for this government shutdown, Sam. We got ourselves months ahead, on our perm filings. But I sort of follow sort of immigration attorney talk groups, and there's a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, when's the government going to open up and when so I can file these perms?" And it's a good thing. Essentially, the government is open up again because even if they're not processing my perm, electronically because I filed electronically and they're shut down, I would still rather file it electronically because I'm going to get a receipt email and because I desperately, desperately don't want to file it any of these via paper, essentially, because it's just you don't know, they don't have any good reliable confirmation from the Department of Labor on that. So, and for those who aren't aware, perm filings are subject to intense filing windows, meaning as long as your recruitment must align with your prevailing wage in such ways to create a window when you can file a case. And I'm sure somewhere out there in the universe is an immigration attorney who had a case that had a filing window that must have been that required to be completed, during the month of October, and they've had to sort of probably refactor their perm case because of that, because of just the nature of the flag portal and the nature of perm filing deadlines. Basically, if the flag portal wasn't available, if you were forced to file it on paper, well, that would be really rough, is the bottom line. So, flag portal is back, but in what capacity is the fundamental question. It's do we believe it's going to be moving at speed? Not really. Would we like it to? Yes. Are we going to be waiting and seeing? Yes. Bottom
Let's take
line.
questions, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's take questions.
Sure. So
So post your questions on immigrationquestions.us. It's
yeah.
our website where you can post questions in privacy, full privacy, and we will answer the questions. We get them, and if we don't get to those questions, we typically shoot you a reply. So
Yeah.
encourage you to do that, to post there. You can post on YouTube live as well, and we will take questions. Let's bring in the first one, Brian.
Yeah. So this is part of a multi-part question came in via immigrationquestions.us, and here it is. If entry on EB2/EB3 AP is denied, what are the options to come back? Can such persons be stuck outside forever until a priority date becomes current?
So that was a question that came last week, and I don't think we did a good job answering it
Okay.
because it lingered in my head after the session ended, and I
Hmm.
said I really didn't do a good job addressing it.
Okay.
So um, the answer began with asking why the advanced parole was denied.
Okay.
So and finding out whether the denial is a legitimate denial or
Yeah.
a denial in error or a curable denial. So the question kind of misses the the um, the cake. It has a
Sure.
lot of icing, but not enough cake.
It's a fun hypothetical, but it doesn't seem
But
very
it
likely to
doesn't.
me. How are you going to get to that hypothetical? Is that what you're?
No, what I'm saying is I need to know why. So when somebody calls me and say, "Hey Sam, I get my advanced parole denied.
Yeah.
I could not come into the." I said, "My advanced parole was denied, Sam. How can you help me?" What is the first thing I would say? I would say, "Explain to me step by step what happened to you at the airport.
Yeah.
What question they ask you, what did you answer, and why they told you the admission was denied." Typically, when they
Sure.
deny an admission,
They're
there's
going
a
to hand you a
document they
form. Yeah.
create.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I would want to read that. And then now understand why. Once I understand why, I can answer the question.
Yeah.
So now, because that reasoning behind the denial is absent, answering the question is very difficult. But
Okay.
let's create some hypotheticals. Fill
Sure.
in the gap a little bit. Uh, Normally, it is denied. Let's assume there was a case of misrepresentation.
Mhm.
Um, you this is not your name is not matching. The name on the passport does not. I'm creating facts here. I'm creating
Okay,
facts.
at the
The
border,
name, yeah,
custom says you're lying to me. I don't want to let you in because of that. Sure,
yeah. Your passport says John Doe, and this one says John something else,
sure.
right? And I don't believe that this relates.
Mhm.
Okay, so we need to fix that. So we need to go in to either update the passport or update the document or create a document. There's a name change, there's a marriage to show that why the name has changed, and then be prepared with a letter with
Sure.
exhibit and come back and try again.
Yeah.
So that's one possibility. I don't know. I mean, the possibilities are endless. How to fix? Let's assume the reasoning, the foundation of the advance parole was not believed to be valid. Let's assume you had an adjustment of status,
Mhm.
and they believe that the adjustment status was denied. Then we have to come back and show that the adjustment of status upon which this advance parole was granted
Mhm.
is valid.
Yep.
So you bring evidence to submit that next time, and you trying to present your case. So that's
Sure.
the kind of way you handle it. Now,
Yeah.
if your denial is not curable, what would be a good example, Brian, of a non-curable denial of an advanced parole?
Oh, I mean,
Uh,
a adjustment of status denied for legitimate means.
Such as example. See,
Um,
that's a challenge, right?
the underlying I-140 40 was denied.
Was denied,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you filed a timely appeal,
Yeah.
and if you file a timely appeal, it is still valid, legally
Yeah.
valid, and
Yeah.
therefore that the adjustment of status valid, and therefore the advanced parole is valid.
Yeah.
You need to put all that together, tie it very well, and present it, and then go in, and
Yeah.
hopefully there's enough patience and intelligence at the border to be able to process
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try to come in from Canada, and they allow counsel at the border there to
True.
observe.
That's fun.
So maybe you
That's a
can
fun answer. Yeah.
fly into Canada and then come in, meet your counsel right before you enter the United States at Windsor, and then your counsel will come with you, and then your counsel can politely say, "We need to explain this to you, officer. It's intricate. Whenever you have time, we want to show you
Yeah.
how this is a valid entry to the US." And
Yeah.
that's how you handle those kind of things.
Well, I'm going to answer the question, quicker, but a little bit differently. So, fine. You have a pending adjustment of status. You are stuck outside the United States. You can't come back. What are my odds to come back? So fundamentally, if you get, I don't think it's very likely that you have a pending adjustment of status with an advanced parole. I don't consider it to be a likely scenario that you're going to be just randomly picked aside for harassment or problems. This is somebody's anxiety speaking. I don't think it's a very likely scenario, presuming you're just living your life normally. You don't have any reason to think that might happen to you. However, the answer to the question is, you might be forced to pursue consular processing. But for me, as an immigration attorney, I occasionally have this conversation with people who are stuck outside the United States that can't come back to file for a new adjustment of status, for example. I would ultimately be looking for another non-immigrant visa to get you back to this country. Are you eligible for a visitor visa, an H-1B visa, a student visa, some other type of working visa? I just talked to a guy pretty recently who's he has sort of a malpractice thing going on with his prior counsel, and basically he's going to have to consular process his green card if he can't find another way to come back. And my answer for him was, well, find another way to come back. Maybe an O visa is in the cards for you. Things like
Excellent
that.
answer.
Yeah.
But I'll go back
Yeah.
again to
Okay.
saying that it begins with asking why you were denied, because the
Why?
denial
Sure.
of the advanced parole could
Yeah.
be a the reason could prevent you from getting the O visa. Could
Sure.
prevent you.
All these
Yeah.
things for above. If you're some
Y-
way
y-
you're into yourself
You
totally
got
inadmissible,
to
it
yeah.
might not be good.
You
Yeah.
gotta know
Yeah. Yeah.
why you were denied. And once you know
Yeah.
why, it's logic. It's not rocket
Yeah.
science. Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to take a one of the last questions here from Prasad, which is an issue that has been coming up in my inbox today, and saying, "Hey Shahab, last Friday, 10/31, got a message from USCIS immigration parole fee notice issued $1,000 as I get." That's that. So basically, it's a very popular thing to hear about right now under the if you read this notice, and I happen to have one of them on my screen in front of me, I can't share it because it has a client's name on it, but basically says, on July 4th, 2025, the president signed into law the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which established a bunch of new immigration fees. One of them is a $1,000 parole entry fee. And, it's a very scary thing that says, hey, if you're going to be paroled in the United States, you're going to be subject to this fee. Very scary. Nobody really wants to hear about that. And, well, here's a good thing to calm down a lot of people. If you hit page 2 of this letter, at the end of page 1, and all across page 2, there's a section called Immigration Parole Fee Exceptions. And one of the exceptions is that you are a lawful applicant for adjustment of status under INA Section 245, returning to the United States after temporary travel abroad. So one of the most common categories of parole we do is advanced parole for people with pending adjustment of status applications, and that wouldn't apply. Now, for Prasad here, Prasad's even one step better, because if you consider the rest of Prasad's question, it's, do I need an AP fee of $1,000 though I have a valid green card which was approved 8 months ago? Please advise me on this regard.
Funny. Obviously, the right hand.
No.
Obviously, the right hand at the government does not know what the left hand is doing. But go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think Prasad's being funny. I think this is
not being funny. He must be very funny inadvertently, because this is a funny question. But that's okay.
Well, he doesn't know. It's scary to get a letter from the government that says you might be charged a fee, and maybe he doesn't understand the difference between being admitted as a parolee or a green card holder. But you're right in terms of the government. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, because I'm just reading this letter here, and I'm going to skip over any identifying information. But here's what it says. This is somebody with a pending green card application. It's actually his parents' pending green card application. But USCIS previously approved your Form I-131 advanced parole parole document, arrival departure records, all the categories that go in that form, and issued you an I-512L advanced parole document, blah, 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 blah. And as of October 29th, 2025, USCIS records indicate you currently have a valid advanced parole form. I suspect that tons of people got these. With no analysis as to whether you got a green card or whether or not the parole you have is subject to that sort of travel. If I were to guess, I'd say they pulled a database and said all I-131 approvals and sent them out to everybody. Tens of thousands of these would be my guess.
Freeze this for a second. I want to freeze it for a second.
Okay.
My hand here, so I'm in the picture right there. Freeze it for a second.
Okay.
Now, I want to reverse this for you.
Sure.
You're a business. You're a private business.
I am, yes.
And if you make that mistake sending out $1,000 invoices to 100,000 people, how much? What is the likelihood the government, one, will believe you're not lying? Two, how likely are you going to be called fraudulent, a deceptive, dishonest human being?
Now, if I did this, Sam, in this small private business that I happen to be involved with, I imagine my law partner coming in going, "What was that?"
Would say, "How much money did we collect?" But this is something where I know the government, there is a level of incompetence here in sending these letters. But if you say that, hey, there was a little incompetence in my office sending it. I have a new guy and he sent it by mistake. They're going to say, we don't give a damn. You are responsible. But the government is not responsible. And that's the sad thing. There's no accountability, sending out $1,000 bills, invoices for so many people. And some people will pay that money by mistake, and good luck collecting that money back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I imagine that once that this is going to cause chaos at the border, and at the very least, chill travel. Like, say people are just going to say, "Oh, holy baloney! I don't want to travel using my advanced parole because maybe they don't have the benefit of counsel, and maybe they think that they're going to be forced to pay $1,000."
There's a lot of smart ICE officers, but not everyone is smart. And what's the likelihood that an ICE officer somewhere is going to start collecting $1,000 from people on behalf of the government incorrectly?
Yeah, and when's that money coming back?
Just like the $100,000, it's an admission fee, but you got to pay it before you file your application. And if you don't get approved, we're going to give you your money back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to give
Yeah.
me my money back. Thank you.
Yeah.
And do you have a
Yeah.
process to
Yeah.
give me money? No, we'll come up with a process later.
Yeah. So,
One more.
big scary letter comes with a bunch of comes with a bunch of exceptions. Is the bottom line, and definitely doesn't apply to green card holders because they're not parolees.
We got a couple
You know.
minutes for one more question, Brian.
Yes, sir. So, let me see here. Well, sort of a related question to the one that we got there. Can basically answering that question of why I might can extreme vetting cause denial of entry, even though there's no criminal background or any violation issue?
So it's not extreme vetting, it's enhanced vetting. Okay,
Yeah,
it's not extreme, but it feels extreme. There's no question. I mean, I don't think
sure.
the person that wrote this meant it, but it does feel extreme.
Yeah,
Well, does overzealousness cause breach of laws in a civilized society? Yes, it can. Yeah, it
yeah.
can. I mean, it can. I cannot say it cannot. I would be foolish to say no. Don't worry about it. They're just looking into you a little closer. No, they're looking for a reason to.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sort of a popular narrative thread at the beginning of this administration that sort of expanding the certain definitions and ideas of an immigration law, like things that might harm the United States. We can deny people from coming to this country for doing things that might harm the country, and people have said, well, not liking our foreign policy on on country XYZ is essentially on the menu for that. So and there are people been documented cases of people not being permitted entry to the country due to their public stances on certain
Well,
issues.
First
You know,
Amendment. First Amendment is a sliding scale. Sometimes it's measured in
yeah.
pounds. Sometimes it's measured in grams.
Mhm.
And
Not in the United States. Oh, not in the. It's never measured in grams in the United
I, I,
States. Actually, no, grams, grams. What am I thinking? Imperial. I was,
you get yourself in
I'm.
trouble.
I was gonna make a
Yeah.
metric joke. I do
Okay, no
apologize.
problem.
Yeah.
You were close to it, but you gotta
It-
your
yeah.
confidence in
It all
your no.
it all fell apart.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
our freedom is a sliding scale. This is something we all know, and the more you study our history, we definitely value the First Amendment, and more often than not, we protect it very well, and we are the most protecting of nations of people's civil rights, but not all the time. There are times that
Well,
are more difficult than other times, and that's life. It happens. Bottom line is this: um, enhanced vetting, overzealousness, lack of training leads to errors.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
the answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah.
we hit the 6:30 hours. So we are going to say thank you guys for listening to us. We will keep you up to date. We will come back 6 o'clock Eastern time on Monday to have one more session. Bring your questions to immigrationquestions.us or here, and we'll do the best we can to answer all of them.